You checked out buymeacoffee.com/Eluminate? You should. It's free to follow. There's also membership tiers. You pick your experience there, but it's uncensored and where you can find all of my work. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and thank you. Do you all know what today is? Go on, take a guess. Don't be shy. Go ahead and strap in as well, because it's gonna sound and feel a lot unrealistic when I say this, and I don't want to keep you in suspense. So I'll give you the first clue.
President Trump declaring the coronavirus a national emergency. The move freeing billions for the fight as America contracts to slow the rapidly spreading pandemic. The number of cases in the U.S. rising over 2,000, at least 49 deaths. All schools closing in a growing number of states. Millions of students impacted. Houses of worship suspending services. Landmarks, theme parks, sporting events, and concerts shutting down. The chaos at grocery stores, lines stretching out the door, shelves cleared out.
Nervous, scared, confused, not really sure what's going on.
But on Wall Street, stocks rebounding, the biggest rally since 2008. Also the testing crisis, drive-through stations overflowing. President Trump vowing to boost testing and saying he takes no responsibility for widespread delays. And will the president himself be tested? What he said today after being potentially exposed. On the front lines, hospitals bracing for a possible surge in patients, already reporting shortages of masks and protective clothing. Will there be enough beds? Just hours from now, the new ban taking effect on foreign nationals flying into the U.S. from the new epicenter in Europe. The race for Americans to get out. And your coronavirus questions answered by our expert.
Welcome to day 700. You made it. I made it. It wasn't a dream. It really happened. And we're going to take a look back and see what unfolded in 700 days. I mean, how would you even properly begin to tell this story to someone who was hearing it for the first time so that it could all make sense? I mean, because it sounds very crazy. I guess it would start with there was a bat in a lab in Wuhan, and then March 13th of 2020 happened, and things started systematically shutting down, not just in the United States, but across the world. It was a pandemic. Yeah, that's how you would start this story. I mean, March was pretty much, it wasn't boring, but it was full of a lot of talk that you'll later see in the story. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. That it was just a lot of trumped up words, because later they contradicted themselves. So March was just a lot of social media craziness. People starting to get censored and all that fun jazz. I mean, then we got into April, and like I said, social media became reality for everyone because we were on a lockdown. Wasn't nobody really essential. Even the essential people was finding out they didn't want to be essential. They just wanted to go home. But you know, people were at home and they was bored, and the people that had to work, well, they were mad. And then some bullshit continued to happen, and the month of May happened. I mean, there was all kinds of craziness going on. You even had Biden winning a mail-in election, you know, whatever. But then people really started getting bored. And then they really started getting mad. And around May 25th, they got real mad. Anybody remember what happened on May 25th?
Mr. Floyd, who was black, died in Minneapolis after being pinned to the ground by a white police officer. He was the...
We're inside CNN Center. We're just in the last 10 minutes. Demonstrators have started to come up and down this thoroughfare of Marietta and break out windows of CNN Center.
Well, hello, TikTok. Y'all remember last week when we all had cell phone disruptions?
Let's go.
Everybody thought maybe it had to do with Antifa, or maybe it had to do with protests. No, they added COVID trackers to our phones, kids. Don't believe me? Got an iPhone, go to settings. Go into privacy. Go into help.
And on May 26th, for the first time, fact check was born. Yep, President Trump got fact check and a tweet was deleted. I told you, social media became reality, and these were the things that people were upset about throughout their days, on top of being scared of COVID and not knowing what it would bring or unfold. Not only did we have explosions and tropical storms in May, but we had riots and racism. June 5th, DC even gave a whole street to BLM to, write their name on. June 15th, hydroxychloroquine was pulled because of unknown risk, even though it's been used for decades. You should check out the NIH's website to see what they know about it and all the articles and studies they have of it not being a risk and what it does help and cure. But then, July happened and Kanye West showed up. That was just a shits and giggles moment. Nothing really came of that and his election throw-in. But, Moderna started talking about they might be able to help out the situation because they had a trial, 30,000 people volunteering to do, and they were ready for human trial. But, it was what it was. The numbers kept rising, and people would go to work, get put off work. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. You're going to school, no you're not. It was just a bunch of back and forth contradictions. Like I told you, there's a lot of things that you're going to see that later in the year, the next year, wouldn't you know it, they were a lie. But it is what it is. Only the people who were telling the truth the first go around got fact-checked. Everybody else got through. In reality, social media land. Fact is fiction. We even had our very own shooting. That one guy, Rittenhouse, he did that thing where he shot a bunch of black people, white people. Doesn't matter the color of their skin, he shot some people. And it was what it was. And he went to trial and got off. We'll see that later. But, that election was quite wonky. We all saw one thing and then woke up to another. Transition of power started happening. And when you know it, they're still kind of fighting today about election fraud. Even though they say there was none, there's people being arrested for that very thing. So, it's a juicy contradiction. 2020 was also the year a lot of places thought it'd be a good idea to get rid of police departments. That didn't go so well. And, everyone that died seemed to have died of COVID. Even though there were riots and lootings and people showing up with machete wounds and their intestines hanging out in hospitals, they all died of COVID.
So the most important thing you gotta remember is, some people were, they were doing some stuff, and then other people were like, hey, don't do that stuff, and then other people were like, hey, yeah, they should do, that stuff, it's good that they're doing that stuff, and then the other people were like, I don't think they should be doing that stuff, and then they're doing, so things are like, what I'm trying to say is that, in conclusion, I have no idea.
And even when Trump was in office, he tried to help and give money to the people by creating bills, the CARES Act and things like that. Small business loans, hopefully that people wouldn't have to pay back, PPP loans, all of these different things. And even with all this free money, people still seem to be too much in their emotions. Guess it had to be the riots and racism. Couldn't have been the COVID or feeling lied to. But either case, as 2020 came to a close, everyone was in their emotions in some way or another. They had everybody going. Be it COVID, the elections, racism, they had every pot stirred and a-brewing. So 2021, as you can imagine, started off with a bang, still yet. everyone in an uproar, child trafficking coming to a head as well back in 2020. And here we are, January. And guess what happened for myself? Eluminate was born. Yup. All kinds of craziness happened. I mean, we even had an insurrection.
What was happening, sharpshooters came upon not just the Capitol rooftop, on every building along this Capitol. I mean, there's a lot of big buildings on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
There were sharpshooters set up probably an hour or two before this happened. They were set up, and everybody said, I noticed. I was like, wow, this is different. And by then, there was probably 180 policemen shoulder to shoulder, and they moved up within 5 feet of our fence. And there was no aggression being shown toward breaking the fence at that point, but I don't know what, and the law enforcement with these, I call them Batman suits. I mean, full protected from head to toe with this rubber, so they kind of snuffed that out. Well, about this time, people caught wind what was going around the backside of the Capitol, and you could start hearing explosions. And I mean, literally, it sounded like a cannon at a World War II reenactment or something. I mean, I don't know, but it's just like a cannon.
Good evening. It's 6 p.m. on February 20th, Saturday. Must mean one thing. Illuminate 2021. Only just a few days in. Hell, we ain't even at the 100-day mark of Biden being in office. But who would have thunk it? Just a few days into 2021. This is how we live in primitive. You got Texas with millions of residents without heat, water, electricity, nada. The windmills have stopped turning. Is the riot investigation your big problem? Or is it staying warm, fed, dry? These are the times. These are the times. Quit being a dick to your fellow man. Because right now, some of y'all, your fellow man that you didn't like the political stance, might be your only salvation. Yep, I said it again. Because I think some of y'all need to hear it. Grow up. And if these winter storms haven't taught you that yet, well, you're not going to learn it anytime soon, unfortunately.
So with the insurrections in place and all of these other things, I feel it's also a good time to mention 2020 as well as 2021. A lot of important people died. I mean, some of them were even rumored to have been, connected with deep state or with the child trafficking rings and sexual trafficking. But again, a lot of important people died. A lot of people, period, did die. But a lot of prominent people died. Epstein didn't kill himself. Anyways, the year drove on, The day kept going. We were way past day 14 at this point. And Eluminate moved. I mean, I even physically moved. I moved from good old West Virginia to Philadelphia. That was interesting. People were worried. But I assured them, it's no more a riot zone. I mean, the curfew, none of that was in place here anymore. It's just good old Philly, like it always is. And Eluminate moved from radio to YouTube. And by mid-2021, even if you didn't want to believe it, you couldn't not see it. It was so blatant and in plain sight, MSM was just ruining their reputation left and right. I know what you're thinking. This story hasn't gotten better yet. Where's the good part? Well, it's getting ready to heat up because summer's coming in 2021, and so did all the extra bullshit to vax, not to vax. Right when people thought they were gonna get to relax, nope, here's something else for them to hate thy neighbor for.
Somebody else is seeing that nobody's cutting the fucking grass in Washington D.C.
I haven't seen that.
Homeless people are sleeping on public property. What the hell's going on in D.C., Joey?
Tony, that's nothing new.
Look, when I was there, when she took me there for the first time,
That's nothing new.
I couldn't believe all the homeless encampments just out in the open.
There than anywhere in America. That's nothing new.
Well, I realize
It was
it's nothing
scary.
new. But you never seen it right in the face of the Capitol before.
Well, I mean,
there's a little bit extra that are homeless. There's even more, even though there was already a lot.
And it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse.
I think you're right.
It is. Once all these handouts stop, oh man, it's going to get bad. Once all the unemployment and the stimulus checks and the loans, and when all that's done and dried up, it's going to be chaos.
But I think there's some fucking homeless, all right?
All right, go ahead.
Because welfare is a real problem in this country. And not talking about the poor people that need welfare. I'm okay with that. I'm talking about state and federal fucking employees. That's the worst welfare we've ever had, dude. All these cocksuckers getting mega money. A secretary, $90,000 fucking dollars to type a letter.
Corporate welfare too. That's a big problem too.
That's a very big problem, brother.
Bailouts from the government and regular people pay taxes so you can bail out the banks and the bankers and Wall Street. That's corporate welfare.
But nobody asked me or you for permission to use our fucking money for that shit. That's what really.
As you can hear, things are already hot, and it's only July of 2021. And as we moved our way right on into August, well, things just kept coming, just at an enormously
The week before last,
quick
leading into
rate.
us not getting to court, and then so much more happened.
It's like every day it's major bombs. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Okay, so we might as well just get to it. What the McAfee is going on, man?
The what?
What the McAfee is going on?
Oh my.
Okay.
Supposedly a nuclear threat was aimed at us.
A what?
A nuclear threat.
From who?
Supposedly Russia was getting ready to attack UK with nuclear missiles. China has threatened to nuke us if we investigate the Wuhan lab. There's a lot of nuclear shit going on. I don't know what.
Holy shit.
At this point, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it, let's nuke it. Hit Washington first. I don't care. That's all I care about.
First.
Oh God! Don't know. The building in Florida looks like it was new.
No shit. Does that look like it was hit by a missile or something, man? Like, that doesn't look like a regular collapse to me.
That collapse was detonation. Go back, look at the Oklahoma City bombing building, look at the Pentagon, the World Trade Center. Did you see how it was surgically sliced up the middle? There was bunk beds standing on the edge of the part that was still standing and just cut perfectly in the floor right in the middle of where the bunk bed was.
Now, Tony, that was where there was too much salt in the water, so therefore it made the water on the roof heavier over time, and they told them that this could happen in 2018.
There's too much fucking salt in their heads if they believe that shit.
That is really Israeli Defense Force search and rescue teams.
Why did Mossad send IDF over here to rescue people? Mossad is behind that shit. They also said there's a good chance, I've read this, but I haven't verified any because I was on vacation. And even a conspiracy theorist needs a break every once in a while. So,
yeah. Amen.
But I read that McAfee had family or something in that and had some files stored in that building.
Did you see the email, since you brought up vaccine? Did you see the email I sent you, the 146-page of Pfizer vaccine, with all of their information about it and all the warnings and all the...
Yeah, well, we personally know two people that I know of for a fact it has completely taken them out of the game, bro. They can't work. One has blisters and lesions all over the body. Other one can't get out of bed for more than 20 minutes.
But what it seems like is the people that have had the shots, this Delta variant comes through, and the spike proteins, it intensifies and is wiping people out. But you're right, Pfizer put out the information, but because the little black box on the wall didn't tell these dumbasses, hey, if you take that, you're going to get sick. They went and took it because they're J-Lo or whoever else said, hey, I took it, go take the damn dose.
I know, you're thinking you didn't hear him right. He said J-Lo. Yes, like I said, reality was twisted during this time. The stars, they were the mouthpieces. They were the guiding lights that everyone looked to. They knew it all. if they did it, well, so should everyone else, and so did everyone else. And with every month that went by, a new variant came out, and yet another booster, yet another jab. I know, the story hasn't gotten better yet, but wait, there's more. Because gas prices started soaring, the markets are getting clenched, and right about that time when everybody should be getting excited for the holidays, well...
Let's start here. September 23rd. We had a story go up on the Washington Post. Did you know that we are potentially sitting in a government shutdown? We have a new variant. But I mean, it does make sense. I guess you would have to have a new variant come out that would help explain why the vaccinated are becoming ill so quickly and at such alarming rates and numbers. So the best way to explain that would be a new variant. So I'm not about to say I didn't see this one coming, because I did.
40% of shipping containers that we import into this country come through these two ports. And today we have some good news. They're going to help speed up the delivery of goods all across America.
Doesn't matter if they're open 24 hours a day, because the driver can only drive so long.
So it has definitely been on everybody's hearts, minds, and wondering, why can we not get our things from the ports? Is it because the truckers aren't working? Or is it because the ports are closed? Or is it because a combination of everything?
Money per day when those containers on the shipper or the whoever, if that ship's being held up, one container they could be charging, depending on what their contract is, the person who shipped it could have to pay the shipping company, anywhere from $300 to $5,000 a day, depending on the cargo, while that ship's sitting up in an ocean, bobbing around, waiting to get unloaded.
So with the entire world in an uproar, yes, not just America, everywhere, food not being able to get to where it needs to go so that people can buy it, so that they can consume it, let alone treadmills. And you've got one crappy administration who just kind of shows up for photo ops, it seems. But I know what you're thinking. The story hasn't gotten better. Well, no, because we're still living it. I mean, let's fast forward to now. We might as well just skip it. We have not been in 2022 that long. It's literally February 11th. And if you're still listening and watching, I want to say thank you. And to all of you amazing viewers and supporters and subscribers, thank you. You all flooded in, and I appreciate you. And let's look at where we are today. 700. Day 700. We have freedom convoys going on in Canada, and it's actually quite peaceful. Everyone is banding together, and it's honestly the most peaceful challenge I have ever seen of authority. They say you can't have gas cans and help the truckers refuel. Everybody just shows up with gas cans. What are you going to do, arrest them all? Everyone could take a note from Canada. There's strength in numbers, and there's strength in using your mind and not just blatantly running out and being hurtful and stealing things, like BLM and Antifa did. That doesn't change anything. That's looting. But what do I know? I'm just a kid.